This is truly, like, she has to go. I'm sorry, Disney. She has to go. The reason we had Rachel Zegler on the docket is she's an asshole.
She's annoying. Yeah, it's annoying. If someone's asking you questions and you're getting really fucking annoyed, it's probably not the question.
Welcome back to Pop Flash, where we break down Hollywood's biggest scandals. And today we're diving into a catastrophic disaster. Disney's Snow White remake has crashed and burned at the box office. Rumors say that the chaos behind the scenes is even worse than the movie itself. From angry executives to massive financial losses, this is shaping up to be one of the biggest embarrassments in Disney history. Lawsuits are reportedly being discussed, careers are on the line, and the industry is absolutely stunned by how badly this turned out.
I think it's fair to say that no one can stand the star of this movie.
And here's where things get ugly. Rumors say that Disney is in full-blown damage control mode after Snow White flopped spectacularly. The numbers aren't just disappointing, they're an absolute disaster. Insiders claim that internal meetings have been pure chaos, with CEO Bob Iger reportedly scrambling to contain the fallout.
This is what theaters look like across the world, and it just keeps getting worse. The memes, the look of people, like, does this actually look like a happy person? It's always in the eyes, man. It's always in the eyes. If you cover up the mouth and you look at just the eyes, no, you see evil, in fact.
You can talk, you can say you work a job, whatever. You cannot talk about trade secrets and certainly not compromise our investigative journalists in the field. What, so no free speech?
And it gets worse. Reports suggest that Disney is now trying to claw back the money it paid to Rachel Zegler. Yes, you heard that right. Disney's own leading lady could be facing serious legal trouble because of this flop. Industry insiders claim that executives are furious with how Zegler handled the film's promotion. From controversial interviews to tone-deaf comments, she managed to infuriate fans before the movie even hit theaters. And now, rumors say that Disney wants its money back, blaming Zegler for making an already risky movie even worse. But why is Disney pointing fingers at Zegler? Well, let's rewind. Before Snow White was even released, Zegler made headlines for mocking the original film, calling it outdated and problematic. Fans didn't take that well. Social media exploded with backlash, and suddenly what was supposed to be a beloved classics remake turned into one of the most hated projects in Disney's history. And let's not forget the Gal Gadot feud. Rumors say that the tension between Zegler and Gadot was undeniable on set. Sources claim that Gadot, who played the evil queen, tried to keep things professional, but Zegler's attitude allegedly rubbed her the wrong way. Insiders say that things got so bad, there were days when they barely spoke to each other off camera. But let's get back to Disney's financial nightmare. The production costs for Snow White were already sky high, and with all the negative press, audiences simply didn't show up. Box office analysts are calling this one of Disney's worst-performing remakes. And now, the company is reportedly desperate to recover its losses. And here's where things take a legal turn. Rumors say that lawyers are already involved behind closed doors. Disney is allegedly exploring ways to pull back some of the money it paid Zegler, claiming her actions damaged the brand. If this actually goes to court, it could be one of the messiest lawsuits in Hollywood this year. It's absolutely unheard of for a studio to go after its own actress over a flop. But Disney is reportedly furious, and Zegler's Hollywood future is looking shakier by the minute. Meanwhile, industry insiders claim that other major studios, like Warner Brothers and Paramount, are now backing away from Zegler, seeing her as a PR risk. Hollywood is all about image, and right now, Zegler's name is being linked to one of the biggest disasters in Disney history. And the fallout isn't stopping there. Rumors say that Disney is in full-blown panic mode, trying to erase this mess from the public's memory as fast as possible. But with lawsuits, financial losses, and burned industry bridges, this scandal is far from over. Now, here's where things get wild. According to rumors, Rachel Zegler's outspoken and reckless attitude didn't just hurt the film's marketing, it may have put her in direct conflict with Disney itself. Insiders say that while Disney initially defended her, thinking she was just a passionate young actress, things quickly spiraled out of control. Every interview, every social media post, Zegler's words seemed to alienate more and more fans. From dismissing the original Snow White as outdated to making comments that critics say were condescending, she single-handedly turned audiences away before the movie even hit theaters. Disney executives were reportedly losing their minds, watching the backlash explode online. They tried damage control, but it was too little, too late. And now, here's the real bombshell. Rumors say that Disney is seriously considering legal action to claw back the money it paid Zegler. Yes, you heard that right. Disney, a studio known for protecting its stars, is reportedly furious enough to go after its own leading lady. Why? Because behind closed doors, execs allegedly believe she tanked the movie's success on purpose. According to whispers inside the industry, Disney higher-ups are privately blaming her for the film's PR disaster. They reportedly see her as the biggest liability in this entire fiasco. Some insiders even claim that she may have violated certain contractual obligations, giving Disney the legal grounds to demand a refund on some of her paycheck. If true, this could be one of the most humiliating Hollywood scandals of the year. But that's just the beginning of the drama, because while the Snow White remake was crumbling before their eyes, there was an even bigger storm brewing behind the scenes. The Zegler-Gadot feud. According to insiders, Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot were anything but friends while filming. Sources claim that Gadot, a seasoned Hollywood star, found Zegler's attitude unbearable, leading to major tension between them. What started as minor annoyances reportedly escalated into a full-blown, behind-the-scenes war. At first, it was just a few cold interactions, but as the days went on, the situation grew tense. Rumors say that Gadot tried to keep her distance, staying professional and focusing on her role. But Zegler's diva behavior made that impossible. There were allegedly moments on set where crew members felt the tension so thick, you could cut it with a knife. Some reports claim that Gadot was frustrated with constant negative press, believing it would hurt the film's performance. Others suggest that Zegler, knowing she was at the center of controversy, doubled down on her behavior, refusing to listen to anyone, even the studio heads. And now, after the massive box office failure, Disney is left with a mess it never saw coming. Not only is the film a financial disaster, but the bad blood between its two biggest stars has made things even worse. Insiders claim that even in Hollywood, a place filled with behind-the-scenes drama, this level of public embarrassment is unprecedented. And here's the craziest part. It's not over yet. The fallout from this film is still unfolding, and sources say that what happens next could destroy careers, damage reputations, and shake up Disney in ways no one expected. But none of that even comes close to the financial catastrophe this film turned into. The numbers are beyond humiliating, and Disney is desperately trying to figure out what went so horribly wrong. Let's start with the budget nightmare. Reports say that Snow White's production costs were already sky high, with a budget that ballooned out of control. Insiders claim Disney poured hundreds of millions into this film. Lavish sets, excessive CGI, reshoots, and a massive promotional push. But rumors say that the marketing didn't help either. Instead of generating excitement, it alienated the audience before the film even hit theaters. And then, the ultimate disaster. After all that money, all that effort, all that PR work, audiences just didn't show up. Theaters were empty, advanced ticket sales were abysmal, and within days, it was clear. Snow White wasn't just underperforming, it was becoming one of Disney's worst live-action flops ever. According to reports, this might be one of the biggest financial losses in the company's history. And now, Disney is scrambling to figure out how to recover the millions, maybe even hundreds of millions, they've lost. Execs are in full-blown panic mode, and industry insiders say the aftermath of this disaster could be brutal. And here's where things get even worse, because we can't talk about this film's downfall without talking about Rachel Zegler's controversial statements leading up to its release. Fans were furious when she openly criticized the original Snow White, calling it outdated, problematic, and no longer relevant. Those words didn't just anger die-hard Disney fans, they practically set the internet on fire. Rumors say that. Even inside Disney, executives were panicking, watching the backlash spiral out of control. They reportedly tried everything: media coaching, damage control interviews, and even limiting her press appearances to stop her from saying anything else that could turn audiences against the film. But it was too late. The damage was done. And now, rumors say that Hollywood itself is distancing itself from her. Big studios don't like liabilities, and industry whispers suggest that Zegler is quickly becoming one. According to sources, major production companies are backing away from future projects with her, fearing that her public image could hurt ticket sales. So now the question remains, can Disney recover from this disaster? Or will Snow White go down as one of the most embarrassing failures in their history? One thing's for sure, Hollywood won't forget this mess anytime soon. Major studios like Warner Brothers and Paramount are reportedly backing away from Rachel Zegler, and the fallout from this whole disaster is only getting worse. According to multiple sources, the backlash surrounding her has been explosive, making her toxic to any studio trying to protect its public image. Hollywood is a place where reputation is everything, and Zegler has become the ultimate PR nightmare that no one wants to touch. Insiders say she has now officially become a liability, a name no one wants to associate with if they care about their career or brand. The fact that she was the lead in a film that bombed so hard is one thing, but her controversial behavior off-screen has made her career feel like an imminent disaster waiting to happen. The list of studios distancing themselves from her is growing by the day. Insiders claim that even before Snow White hit theaters, there were serious talks within the industry about whether it was worth the risk to cast Zegler in future projects. The answer? A hard number. Major studios are now hesitant to associate with her, fearing that her divisive personality will only bring negative attention to their films and projects. Hollywood operates on a carefully cultivated image, and Zegler is now seen as someone who could drag any film she's involved in down with her. She's become radioactive, and no one wants to risk being burned by her flames. And Disney? Oh, they didn't just sit back and let this whole thing play out like a spectator sport. They were in full crisis mode the moment they realized they were dealing with something far more damaging than a simple flop. Insiders reveal that Disney executives scrambled to find a solution as they watched their $200 million investment go up in flames. Desperate to salvage what little reputation was left after Snow White's disastrous performance, they hired top-tier media consultants to help manage Zegler's image. They tried everything: PR campaigns, interviews, and even social media strategies, but nothing worked. Every statement she made, every time she appeared on camera, only made things worse. The more they tried to fix the issue, the more they seemed to expose how far gone the situation really was. They were panicking, knowing that this film was dead in the water before it ever had a chance to succeed. And let's not forget the fans. They were absolutely furious with the entire situation. Rumors say that the Snow White remake became a punching bag online, with fans mocking it for being too politically driven and accusing Disney of forcing an agenda down their throats. Critics and moviegoers were up in arms about the radical changes made to the classic story, and the backlash was relentless. Zegler's controversial comments about the original Snow White didn't help one bit. If anything, they made the whole situation worse. Fans were enraged when she publicly called the 1937 animated film outdated and problematic, turning what should have been a beloved homage into a bitterly divisive issue. The casting decisions didn't go over well either, especially Zegler's role as Snow White. Fans felt that her portrayal was out of step with the spirit of the original character, and audiences simply couldn't connect with her. This film wasn't just another Disney remake, it was a battle cry for a group of disillusioned fans who felt their favorite classics were being ruined. The more they saw the marketing, the more they felt betrayed by Disney's attempt to force a new narrative on them. And the more they felt like Zegler was at the center of all of this controversy, the angrier they got. By the time the film hit theaters, it was too late. The disaster had already begun. Fans had already turned their backs on it, and the negative buzz was too overwhelming to ignore. The film's box office numbers were an absolute nightmare, a reflection of just how out of touch Disney had become with their core audience. The remake, which was meant to be a smash hit, ended up failing spectacularly, and the financial consequences were massive. According to sources, Snow White is now seen as one of Disney's biggest box office flops, coming in as a major embarrassment for a company that had invested so much into its success. They spent millions to remake a classic, only to watch it become the laughingstock of Hollywood. And the worst part? Disney could do nothing to recover from it. The movie's reputation was already ruined before the first ticket was sold. No amount of damage control could fix what was broken. Zegler's career, meanwhile, has taken a massive hit, one that might take years to repair. No one is rushing to cast her, and with each passing day, the chances of a major studio taking her on seem more and more unlikely. And let's talk about Gal Gadot's involvement in all of this. While she managed to steer clear of the most explosive controversies, rumors say that her behind-the-scenes tension with Rachel Zegler became a red-hot topic in Hollywood. According to insiders, Gadot had absolutely no interest in getting tangled up in the drama, but somehow found herself pulled into it anyway. And the real shock? Industry whispers suggest that she made a conscious effort to separate herself from the film as much as possible, even before its disastrous release. Sources claim that Gadot was deeply frustrated with the entire situation. She reportedly saw the writing on the wall long before the backlash hit, recognizing that this remake was headed straight for disaster. Insiders suggest that she wanted to protect her own career and keep her public image intact, which is why she strategically avoided talking about the film unless absolutely necessary. And now that Snow White has officially crashed and burned, Gadot has reportedly gone even further in distancing herself from the project. She's barely mentioned it, skipped out on promotional efforts, and made sure she wouldn't be dragged down alongside its sinking reputation. But what about Rachel Zegler? Where does all of this leave her? According to multiple sources, her career is in free fall. What should have been her big Hollywood breakthrough has now turned into a devastating setback. She's no longer the industry's rising star. She's a cautionary tale. Insiders claim that major studios have already started second-guessing whether they should work with her at all. Her name, once associated with potential, is now linked to controversy. And in an industry that thrives on positive publicity, she has officially become a public relations disaster that no one wants to deal with. And Disney? Well, they're reportedly trying to move on as fast as possible, doing everything in their power to erase the memory of this box office catastrophe. Insiders say the company is shifting its focus to other upcoming projects, hoping to bury Snow White's failure and redirect attention to more promising films. But the damage has already been done. This isn't just a failed movie. It's a symbol of how far Disney's live-action remakes have fallen. And now, the entire remake strategy is being called into question. And just when you thought this couldn't possibly get worse, reports suggest that Disney's shareholders are furious with the company's leadership. Rumors say that Bob Iger, the CEO himself, is under intense scrutiny, facing backlash for overseeing what some are calling one of Disney's biggest disasters in years. Sources claim that Iger is now under pressure to fix Disney's failing live-action strategy before the company takes an even bigger financial hit. With the massive box office losses, shareholder confidence is plummeting, and Iger's leadership is being questioned like never before. So, what's next? Will Disney actually sue to get their money back from Rachel Zegler? Or is she just an easy scapegoat for a much bigger problem? Let us know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Pop Flash for even more shocking Hollywood exposés, because trust us, the drama never ends.